My topic for today is my favorite and most fun to shoot guns I own. Well, also the guns, if I have somebody in from out of town that's going to go shooting or a family member and I want them to go have fun, it's like, yeah, this is the stuff I'm going to take. Well, two of them are kind of tied for first, but there might be only one first place. This is an HK SP5, so it's like an MP5, I suppose, only it's semi-automatic. This is probably my most fun gun to own. My friend John took him to the range and he was just giggling every time he shot it and just, magazine after magazine, just having a ball with it. It's super fun. The gun's never jammed, I don't think, as long as I've owned it. I don't know how many rounds, 1,000 rounds, maybe 7,000 rounds at this point. Nothing too crazy, but I mean a fair bit. No issues with reliability. I've yet to take it apart and clean it, just because I was curious if it needs to be cleaned or not. So, never once taken the bolt out, oiled it, done anything. I just keep shooting it, and like I said, it's never once jammed. This thing is awesome. I did a separate video for the setup for this, but just briefly, you gotta have the tri-lug for the MP5 stuff. So this is an Omega 9K suppressor with the tri-lug adapter. All you do to attach this thing is it's got these little cutouts that accommodate the tri-lug, which is part of the muzzle device. Kind of just line it up so they thread on. Then you push down, working against the spring, turn it over like maybe a third of a turn, and you can see it kind of clicks, and then spring pressure is pushing up to hold it in place. Surefire Turbo light. This is a single cell. This is on a T-Rex Arms light bar, which makes the light get closer to the end of the suppressor. That way there's no suppressor shadow. This is the Surefire button, for the light. This is one of the MLOCK switches. I like it because it's super compact, and that way I can just, basically when I'm shooting, I can just rest my thumb there if I want to activate it or not. Then the tail cap also has a button there so you could do constant on in case, I don't know, some kind of EMP or zombie situation where the cable becomes disabled. But that's it for light and the suppressor itself. Trigger, all the internals are factory. The sight on this one is a Holosun SCRS. So it's just a red dot. This has an ADM mount on it, which I used because it was even lower than what the mount that came with the optic is. Because I wanted the optic super low, as low as I could get to the rail. Just because with these guns, I feel like some of the mounts are really, really high, and you end up where you're kind of not quite as bad as the Hydra mount, but where you really have it disconnected. So I wanted one where I actually have my stock or my cheek contacting the brace before I get a line on the sight. So let's see. I think that's about it. Otherwise, yeah. So anyway, the red dot, the Holosun makes this thing obviously way easier to shoot. Otherwise, the iron sights that come on it are good to go, but the red dot just makes it a little bit more fun, especially if I'm taking people to range that don't shoot a ton. That makes it more fun. Also, forearm is Midwest Industries handguard. So that is MLOCK, which allows me to attach the light, all that kind of fun stuff to it. The next probably would be tied for my most favorite is this. This is a Volquartsen Mamba X. This is the way this thing comes basically is the top of the receiver already is drilled and tapped for all the different optic types. So previously I had a Ruger, and it didn't work reliably. Honestly, the scope mounting situation sucked, and just a multitude of issues. So instead I got rid of the Ruger upper. I finally got back from Ruger. I'll test fire it at some point and see if it actually cycles reliably now or not. But that's in my safe. I just took this Volquartsen upper and put that on the Ruger lower I had. The gun's also got a Volquartsen trigger kit in it, so it's just makes the trigger a little bit lighter. Also a Volquartsen bolt. Before, this gun was not reliable at all with the Ruger parts. Now, with the Volquartsen upper and the Volquartsen bolt, very rarely ever jams. Like maybe 1 in 100. It's about, I think, how many like issues I've had just with bulk stuff. not even spending, you know, like expensive ammunition or high quality ammo. So it's just bulk pack stuff. Runs awesome. This one has a Vortex Defender ST red dot on it. This one's a 3 MOA, so I like the smaller dots. And it works perfectly because of that Delta Point Pro pattern. This X upper has already got those built in. So then the dot just mounts directly to the receiver, which makes it nice and low. One less set of screws to lose. Then, maybe the most fun part about this whole little situation is the Surefire Rider 22 suppressor. There's a bunch of different brands of suppressors. I'm sure they're all fine. The one thing that's important about this one is you could disassemble it and take all the little baffles apart so you can clean it. 22s are quite dirty as far as the ammo goes, so you want to be able to take the suppressor apart and clean it. Otherwise, I think they get to a part where they're so gummed up and just not serviceable. And then when I ordered this upper, I wanted just no comp, just a threaded barrel with thread protector. Because, man, most of the time I'm going to shoot this thing, it's going to have the can on it. And if I'm being real about it, like how loud this thing is, regardless of standard velocity, high velocity, whatever, it sounds about like a staple gun, or maybe snapping your fingers, depending on the, like, quietly snapping your fingers. It's pretty quiet. So this thing is just a fun toy. I have a quite good time with it. And the grip comes from Tandem Cross. It just fits my hand perfectly. So this was a Ruger 2245, the lightweight. So it's what, Ruger Mark IV lightweight. But like I said, the upper, it wasn't reliable ever with any type of ammo, really. And then I kind of got it to be somewhat reliable at the end, but I was just like, buy the Volquartz and be done with it. Also, when you get the Volquartz and trigger kit, it does away with the magazine disconnect in the gun, which is total stupidity too. So anyway, those two would be probably my favorite two guns if I was like taking people to shoot. Otherwise, got two more guns that are kind of work, you know, they're work guns still, but a lot of fun to shoot. First one is this. It's a Walther PDP steel frame 5-inch, but it has the dual port comp. So it's an upper from Parker Mountain Machine. The really fun part about this is that it just deletes recoil. There's no better way to say it. It shoots very soft. So especially at distance, for me, I just find myself working on firing the pistol with only pulling my trigger finger, not trying to input or steer the gun or return it at all. Just hold it straight, laser focus on the spot I want to hit bullets or want bullets to go to, and it will stack shots. So this gun is extremely fun. For recoil spring, it's got a 15-pound ZR Tactical guide rod. For grips, these are just the factory grips that had silicone carbide added to. And then a Hollow Sun 507 comp red dot and Rise manufacturing plate. So that's it. The gun's super fun to shoot. It doesn't matter if it's hot 115s. 147s feel a little sluggish, but anything in the 115, 124 range, good to go, and it's really fun to shoot. The last one is this bad boy. This is an ADM Mod 2, so American Defense Manufacturing rifle. This gun more or less is the way it came from them. All I did was add a sight. So this is a Hollow Sun Ames, or AEMS, on a American Defense lower third mount. I strongly prefer that optic height for carbine shooting. The nice part I like about the red dot is you can change the reticle. So you can have just a plain dot for distance shooting, or if you want the circle, like the donut of death for EOTech style, for closer distance shooting where you have that hold off for CQB, then you can add that ring. Just by holding down the minus button, it'll toggle through the reticles. So that part's pretty cool. For other accessories, of course, Surefire light. This one's a turbo, the 2-cell light. Just like the MP5, got the push button tail cap, or this one's set up to an SR07, I think is what it's called, switch. I like using the switch as a reference point. So when I'm shooting it, I rest my thumb on the back part of the switch, but it's not in a place where I could like ND the light. But if I want to use the light, then all I do is just reach my thumb forward a little bit and I can press it there. For me, I only use momentary anytime I've used a rifle light, but if I wanted to, you can also just click that switch for constant on. For suppressors, another Surefire. This one's called an RC3. It's a flow-through can. In my opinion, this is the one to buy if you're buying a suppressor. It's not the cheapest, but the flow-through technology makes sure you don't get gas like thrown back at you, whether like through the ejection port, through the slots in the charging handle, and then the gun doesn't get as messy. So we shoot suppressed guns a lot. Some of the like the back pressure, that stuff cycles back through the action, so the gun gets dirty faster and dries out. So you have to lubricate it more. Like this being a flow-through can really doesn't get the gun that dirty, or I don't notice that I need to lube it any more than if I was shooting regular non-suppressed. So I am a big fan of that suppressor. I like Surefire stuff a lot. For muzzle device, I like the 3-prong muzzle devices. The Surefire, I think, also has the best ecosystem and the best built muzzle devices. So this is the SOCOM Series 3-prong. So I can shoot it like this, just regularly like a regular muzzle device. Or if I want to, it's set up to interface with their suppressors. So that just makes it an easy way to add or remove the can if that's something I want to do. But this thing is fun because, well, so the RC3 reduces recoil a little bit anyway. The ADM, the way it's gassed, it's already very soft shooting anyway. So this is just the nicest AR-15 I've ever fired, but it's already soft shooting and really fun to shoot. Then adding the can on it makes it shoot even softer. And of course, suppressed is cool, so this is something I enjoy, even if it's just me going to the range. Just, it's fun to shoot. And then at distance, seeing what you can get away with, shooting those fast pairs with, like I said, the gun's just, it's tuned nicely. Oh, and then for trigger, a Geissele SSAE trigger. Geissele 2-stage, so that part's super nice also. So anyway, I tried to run through them fairly quickly, but of everything I've owned or shot, those 4 are my very favorite guns. The guns that, if I'm taking friends or relatives to the range, they want to like have a fun range day, those are the guns I'm going to take, or some variation of those. Regardless who you are or what you're into, it's easy to have fun with those. Even if you're like you shoot a different discipline or you're not into action shooting, you just want to go plink. It's just super fun stuff to shoot. So anyway, let me know what your favorite guns are. If you disagree and think these are all nonsense and I should have different favorites or whatever, feel free to, if you have any follow-up questions. I did make videos for, I think, all these guns in the past, but if you have any specific questions or anything I can answer, drop it below in the comments. I'll try my best to make an answer for it. Or I'm sorry, to answer the question in just a few sentences. But if it takes longer than that, I'll just make a video response. So appreciate you watching. Have a good day.